Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of the Full Arch Masters podcast. I'm Dr. Ryan Dunlop, and I'm joined by my good friend and colleague today, Dr. AZAM SAEED. AZAM, tell us who you are, where you're from, and how if you're excited to be here, man.
Dude, I'm so happy and so grateful to God and to you and to everybody here for the opportunity to be here. I am absolutely loving this experience, man. Thank you so much for setting this up.
You are very welcome, and I appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, dude, I had to, man. I mean, so a little bit of my story, to cut it short, got into Full Arch, started doing everything analog. I was the guy at one point doing my own conversions, covered in acrylic shavings, trimming it all up.
Looking like a drug dealer.
Yeah. And we got to the point where we started doing a pretty substantial number of arches, and we love quality, so we were using one of the best labs, and our lab bill was slaughtering us. And so at some point in that, we're talking to Neodent, amazing implant. We started doing some great work with them, awesome surgical success. And then they were like, hey man, you need to look into getting your own lab, being able to mill, print and whatnot. I posted on Facebook like, hey, anybody know anything about Zircon Zahn? And Ryan reached out to me and said, I think we need to have a conversation. Flew out to see him, took his flagship course, which is probably the best course that anybody who's ready to take it to the next level, not just, get their feet wet, but people are ready to take it to that next level.
Right.
Like that nth degree is the best course for that. And the proof is in the pudding. We went from this 1,800 square foot office doing, 15, 20 arches a month. And because of what we learned with Ryan, and also one very important point is that because we joined FAM, right, and the camaraderie, everything I've learned from all of our colleagues, from you, from everybody, we're crushing, 40, 50 arches a month in an 8,000 square foot facility, printing all day, every day, photogrammetry all day, every day, milling 40 to 60 arches a month for ourselves and other doctors. And it wouldn't have happened without FAM.
Wow. So now here you are, fast forward a couple of years, and your surgical techniques have probably expanded, exponentially just for your own personal clinical use. But now you're back as a surgical mentor, and this is your first time being a mentor at this surgical course. What's your impression of these guys that are learning today?
So far, like all the guys we worked with, they have some experience. They've done some arches. They want to learn more. And one of the reasons I'm here is to give back. Help the people that were in the same place that I was, 4 or 5 years ago. And so I met these guys who were respectful, humble, and eager to learn. So when, I went in there and, obviously I gave a little lecture before starting about what the surgical plan would be for that particular case. Everybody was ready to learn. Everybody was excited to be here. Right. They're all excited to try out these new techniques and explore things that they're not used to, stepping a little bit out of their comfort zone, because they all do stuff a little bit differently than I would or you would. And so far it's been awesome. Like every day, it's so fulfilling. Yeah, we're getting up at 6 a.m. We're here at 7. We're not leaving till like 8 p.m. But dude, it's been great, man. It's
been great. And what about the type of cases? Like, are these routine cases that these docs are working on, or what are these?
No, so these definitely aren't something that you don't want to walk into a lot of these cases. Like for example, the one we did yesterday, the upper seemed easy, but the bone was very soft, right? And you need to know what to do in that situation.
Right.
And then we went to the bottom and it was 10 times worse because it was, knife edge, hourglass shape. Definitely not something a level 1 doc should be doing, but with the, our guidance of myself and some of the other instructors who are more experienced, we crushed every one of those cases. No complications, high torque on every implant. I mean, imagine what it does for their self-confidence.
Right.
That they got to do something complex with docs who are there to hold their hand and to, cheer them on.
Right.
That's only going to happen here.
And those same techniques that we are teaching on advanced cases, they can use those techniques on regular cases.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
And so if you approach every case as if it's an advanced case, if it ends up being a cakewalk, well, okay, go home early.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's just going to make the case more successful.
Right.
Like we were going over a lot of principles that I think, many people get wrong. They see something on Instagram, but they try to replicate it, but they don't understand why the placement was what it was. So we did a lot of discussing of why we're trying to go towards the floor of the nose. Why we undersize the osteotomy, for example.
Right.
and why AP spread is important, why the pterygoid implant is important, why a zygomatic implant is important if necessary, right?
Right.
So there's just a lot of discussion, and that's what made this course so amazing.
Awesome. So there's two types of attendees at this course. We have observers who are here just kind of watching the entire process, participating, and then we have operators who are the ones that are tasked to do these surgeries with our mentors. What are the benefits of both types of attendance?
You're not going to walk out here without knowing anything, right? Like now, some of the observers, I could tell, totally getting their feet wet.
Right.
Then you got a guy like Sammer,
right,
who's teaching me how to do zygos. He's an attendee here,
right,
as an observer. Why is he here? Because there's still so much to gain. Not only are you watching an advanced surgery, but you're meeting a group of doctors who are all eager to do well, and doctors who have a tremendous amount of experience.
Right.
So I don't think there's one observer who is here that did not leave with amazing information, amazing knowledge.
Right.
And for the operators, I mean, come on, they're placing with some of the best docs in the country.
Right.
You know, of course they got their money's worth.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, think about it. In fact, like, the tuition should be $100,000 because you're going to go home. Now you can do these cases that you used to refer out.
Or just shy away from, and those patients would just disappear.
Yeah, and now you're doing all of those. And you know, the tuition is, like, definitely justified.
Right.
Definitely, you know?
I'm just curious your opinion on kind of full arch dentistry. It's a big, booming field. What do you think is the next 5 to 10 years for full arch?
Well, unfortunately, it's a little dark. You know, you hear some other docs always say this winter is coming, because, you know, there's a lot of people who didn't take FAM, who didn't do, there's a lot of other, you know, great trainers out there who didn't do a proper course. And so they're just doing some things that aren't going to work long term.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's going to be a lot of revisions.
Right.
I think also for doctors who did learn the technique for all-on-4 and bone reduction, there's going to be a big push for stop putting every patient into that one basket.
Right.
Meaning we don't need to shave everybody's bone off.
Right. I'm doing an FB1 case right now.
Exactly. Right.
Like, we didn't want to do that.
Exactly. Like there's going to be a lot more. Hey, you know what? Full arch is the treatment plan, but it's going to be done in 3 or 4 different ways. You're not all just going to get your bones shaved off. I think also, I mean, I don't know what's necessarily going to happen with, like, you know, bone regeneration and whatnot, but I think there's going to be a lot of revisions, and I think a lot more, you know, just doing cases in a manner that's best for the patient depending on the circumstance, instead of just one for all.
Like a custom approach for each case.
Exactly.
And what I love about this course is you learn a variety of techniques instead of just one. So you have a lot of different techniques that you can employ on the same case.
Yeah.
So one case might need pterygoids, one case might need palatal approach, another case might be transsinus, another case might need zygos.
Yeah.
But you're going to understand the difference and how to customize each case for the patient.
And what's good is that, you know, you didn't like give us a case and say, hey guys, you can only do it this way.
Right.
We looked at the case and we said, look, all right, we have 3 different routes here. We're gonna start off with, did this work? Okay, it did. Now we gotta go towards the palatal.
Right.
Guess what? We don't have AP spread. We're gonna do teres. It wasn't just everybody's gonna get this. Everything must be done this way. And the benefit of that is that the doctors, the operators, and even the observers got to learn the way we think, how we choose what direction to go with this patient and the treatment that we're giving them.
Right. That's awesome. Well, last question I want to ask you is, you know, I'm super appreciative and amazed and super proud of you that you wanted to come back and give back to Full Arch Masters. That's just so great of you. Tell me about the camaraderie of this group amongst the mentors. You know, there's what, 4 or 5 of you guys teaching this time, and then all the attendees. What is the spirit of Full Arch Masters?
If you talk to anybody that's ever taken any FAM course, they always walk away saying that number one first thing is the camaraderie. You know, you have the GPs, the super GPs, the oral surgeons, the pros, the perios, who all have mutual respect for one another. Right. Because everybody's training's a little bit different. Some guys think, you know, they're cooler than the rest or whatever. But at FAM, everybody's in the full arch market. Everybody's a full arch doctor. So everybody's there to help one another. Right. Like, I can post a case and be like, guys, I need some help. Instead of getting bashed on by the OS or the pros, they're like, hey man, I think you should have gone this way. Maybe you need to try this, instead of just bashing on me. Right. And now I have like some of my closest friends through FAM are, oral surgeons.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for that because I would never have had a platform to make those relationships before. Right. Like we're not taught to expect love and appreciation from some of these dudes. And that's exactly what I found through FAM.
Right.
So anybody who who is considering FAM, right, like understand what you're going to get out of it. It's not just the training, man. Like at any time, like on my WhatsApp group, like a Facebook group, dude, you can talk to these guys.
That's like ongoing, constantly.
It's just always evolving, new techniques. Yeah, what screw is better? What printer is better? What kind of implant is going to work for this? What kind of threads are better for this type of bone? It's always a learning opportunity, and that's why I love FAM.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you. Honestly, from the bottom of my heart, I've been looking forward to seeing you in action. I think you have a teacher's spirit. I think you're a giver. I think that you want to give back to your community. So it's been amazing already. We're not even done. We still have the rest of today.
I know, man.
And we got more tomorrow.
I know.
I'm already tired. So
I'm ready for bed.
Again, thank you for coming down, taking time away from your busy practice, taking time away from your busy family, and spending a weekend here with FAM.
I really appreciate that, Ryan. Appreciate everything you've done for me, man. Thank you.
Likewise.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the Full Arch Masters podcast. I'm Dr. Ryan Dunlop, live from Mesa, Arizona. We are in the middle of our advanced surgery course, and I got to go back and finish up my case. So you guys take care and tune into us next time.